Tip 2. This is going to be about hardware. We're going to discuss, or I'm going to talk about sound cards. There are two types I know about, the EMU 1212 and the RME Digi 96, 36, and 52. The difference between these two cards are that the EMU 1212M, you can leave a lot of the normal functions of logic checked because there's software associated with it, plugins, assignable inputs and outputs, and effects, which means that the EMU 1212 processes the sound internally in the card, where the RME Digi 96, 36, 52 or 52 doesn't have any software associated with it, so all the processing is done by the computer, which means that in order to get the RME to work properly, you have to uncheck a lot of things in logic. I'm going to start logic. Alright, I'm going to go to my synchronization. If we go to audio, you'll see I'm unsynchronized. I'm going to pull up my audio hardware and drivers. The reason I'm unsynchronized is because I have two sound cards in my computer, and Logic doesn't know when it's opened up which one to attach to. So I'm going to go to my sound driver. I'm going to uncheck it, recheck it, and relaunch. Alright, it's synchronized. I'm going to quickly go over some of the screens you need to look at when you're going to choose, depending on what hardware you have. We're going to go to on the preference, the audio. If you look at the plug-in delay compensation, that's very important to have that unchecked if you have a sound card that has no software associated with it, like the RME. But it's very important to have it checked if you have a sound card that has software associated, like the EMU. Delay compensation is used to compensate for the delay in the sound card itself from plugins, effects. So the RME doesn't have any plugins or effects, so I uncheck that so the sound card works properly. I'm going to show you the RME screen really fast. As you can see, the RME doesn't have anything except a buffer size, a sync reference, and a clock mode. And there's no software associated with any of these. That's why in Logic you have to uncheck a lot of things. I unchecked all the globals. None of my equipment uses bits, so I use my SMPTE without bits. It's very important that you also go to your range window and on your transport, click on the transport, the record button, and make sure nothing here is checked. Like you might have record repeat and record toggle checked. Make sure they're unchecked, because if your hardware doesn't have the right software associated with it, those will keep your sound card from working properly. Also, record options. I've unchecked everything except the necessary things, like the auto demix by channel. I need that. MIDI data reduction, I need that. And the merge, I need that. Another thing you should know is that you should always have your sysx and MIDI through functions checked in order to get your MIDI controllers to work properly on the sound card. Finally, I'm going to show you how to add audio tracks. You're going to need that if your sound card has more than 8 inputs and 8 outputs, because Logic only comes with, by default, it comes with 24 input tracks, but it only comes with, I think, 8 output tracks. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my environment. As you can see, I have a bunch of instruments here, but I want the audio environment, and you can see I've got the 24 audio tracks. And over here I've got 24 output tracks, but I had to add 16 of those. Well, I actually had to add a lot of those. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. Since when the audio environment is highlighted, I'll go New, Audio Object, and you'll see right here, Audio Object. And I just click on that, and it makes it into a track. All you have to do next is assign what's available in your system or from your sound card. I have inputs, I have 26 inputs, and I have 26 outputs. The 25 and the 26 are from the sound card that's in my computer on the motherboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you. I'll put output 25, 26. There it is. It's a new track for one of the sound cards in my computer. Then I rename it, and then all I have to do is just drag it up to where I want it to be. In this case, I would just attach it next to the 23 and 24. And there it is. But since I don't need it, I'm just going to erase it. Okay, that's all for tips number 2. Audio hardware is probably the most important thing you have to worry about in order to get it to work properly. Uncheck a lot of things if there's no software in the card, and check a lot of things if there's software associated in the card. Window.